Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's special Hippo help webinar. My name is Earl Mina, and I work with the Training and Tech Department. Today's webinar is Hippo Mobile for Work Orders. So here's a look at today's agenda. Our webinar today will just be about 20 minutes. At the end of the training session today, we'll have a 10-minute question and answer period. So we'll start with a quick introduction to mobile. Then we'll begin the tutorial for work order management. We'll look at topics such as navigation, how to navigate through Hippo on your mobile phone, how to submit work orders, how to edit work orders, how to close work orders, and how to use a work order search. Again, we'll have a question period at the end of the session, so feel free to use your GoToMeeting question panel if you do have any questions that come up. Just a few housekeeping notes. All of our attendees will be muted today. I will be sending a copy of this webinar later this afternoon. Feel free to share with any colleagues, anyone else that might be using Hippo within your company. Okay, so let's begin. Today's webinar will be done with Hippo version 6. So Hippo version 6 was released a couple months ago. It is a free update for all users. Version 6 contains many new updated features, and we specifically enhanced the mobile version of Hippo. For example, on the left side, you can see a screenshot of Hippo mobile on version 5. On the right side, we can see what we've advanced to. Much cleaner, more simple interface with new features as well too. So today's webinar will be focusing primarily on work orders, but in the future we will have other webinars that will focus on the different modules in Hippo Mobile. For example, we'll be having a parts webinar in the future. We'll have equipment management webinar as well too, barcode webinar as well, to really showcase the things that are available in Hippo Mobile. Now, for anyone who wants to use Hippo Mobile, for version 6 users, you'll recognize this page as the Edit Permissions window. For any of your team that wants to use Hippo Mobile, please go into the Enterprise Permissions screen, click on the name, and check mark the box where it says Mobile Enabled. For users on version 5, this used to be just on the grid, but we've adapted the permission screen in version 6 to be in one small window here. Okay, now in terms of login information, to access your Hippo, it's the same URL that you will type in on your desktop. Your URL is most likely the name of your company, or clientid.hippocmms.ca or hippocmms.com. Just like on desktop, each user will type in their user ID and password, click Secure Login, and this will take you in to Hippo Mobile. Now the first screen I see here is similar to desktop. This is going to show me my enterprise view. I have a list of all of my facilities, an overview of what's going on within those facilities as well too. You can see how many PMs, how many demands you have open, anything that's marked critical, and then any work orders that could be related to you. That's hidden under the My Work Orders button. If I click here, with my login, I can see all the work orders that I have either created or have been assigned to. We can see a couple PMs, a couple demands. As I click on the drop-down arrow, it's going to show me the location of where these work orders are located. Now, this is an enterprise summary of all the work orders that I've been assigned to or have been created. To get into the facility, it's just like on desktop. If I go back to enterprise summary, instead of viewing all the work orders specific to my enterprise, I can click on the name of a plant, name of a facility, Hippo Arena, and I'm just viewing my work orders within that facility. Now you'll know that you're at the facility level if you see the words of the facility appear just in this gray box in the center of the screen. So I am in the Hippo arena. If I do want to move backwards and go back to the enterprise level, I can make use of the Hippo icon at the top of the page. We'll click that. And then I want to use the refresh button in my browser. Now, if I click on my work orders again, you'll notice the name of the facility is gone. And instead, I'm viewing all of the work orders amongst all of my facilities. Now, going back to the enterprise summary, you'll notice here that I am viewing all the work orders in my facility. If I were to pull up my desktop, there is some discrepancy here. This is my desktop. For some of you using the Hippo Plus package, you'll see your custom GUI. I will switch over to the standard dashboard. This would be more familiar. Now, if we look at Hippo Arena, for example, on my mobile, it says I just have one work order, or on the desktop, it says I have 9 total work orders. In Hippo Plant, it says I have 21, where on mobile, it says I only have 1 demand work order. So there's a discrepancy in there. When Hippo version 6 was first released for mobile, the intention was to have your resources only view work orders they've either created or assigned to, not seeing everything that is going on within the plant. We're going to make an update based on feedback from our users. So what you will see here will then match here. Again, that's coming out in a future update. So if you're an admin user and you're wondering, hey, why don't I see all the work orders within my facility? Just know that the update is coming and this will eventually be consistent with one another. In the meantime, you could use work order search. We'll get into that a little bit later. It's one way that you can find any work orders that are open or anything related to your facility. Okay, so next we'll go into how to submit a work order. So there's consistency between submitting a work order on mobile and as desktop. To get there, we're going to click the menu button in the top left corner. This is going to open a submenu of all the features in Hippo Mobile. You can see we have submit work order. You can manage your work order requests, work order search, calendar, equipment, parts, scan code. So all of these modules we hope to have a webinar in the future for. Let's focus on today with how to submit a work order. I'll click submit work order. And hopefully this opens up a familiar submit work order page. Now, like on desktop, we have 3 mandatory fields: work order name, type, that can be either equipment, location, or vehicle, and then description. Again, any mandatory fields are highlighted in orange. So let's go through the process of how to submit a demand work order from your mobile phone. Let's start with work order name. Work order name is generally what needs to be done. We can say fix the computer. I'll select the facility, and this is because I have multiple facilities in my enterprise. This is in Hippo Arena. Okay, next is type. Is this equipment, location, or vehicle? If I select equipment, I can choose to find equipment by floor plan, model type, or asset ID. I can look at the drop-down menu and look at all the equipment within my facility. However, I haven't mapped my computer. I'm going to just say this is location-based. It's a small asset, so we'll identify that computer just being in room 102. I can select one or more. Maybe there's a few computers that need to be fixed, or I can just select one in my list here. I can tag this as critical. If I'm utilizing my due dates, this will say, hey, please fix this computer on the same day. Alternatively, I can leave it as a medium priority. Let's get it done in 5 days, or I can switch it to urgent. Maybe let's get it fixed in 2 days. Work category. Work category is a way for you to categorize your work orders. This is a computer repair. So I believe I have a category called IT. Where this will help down the line is if someone were to ask me, What work orders did you complete related to IT this week? I can run a work order search or run a report. Company category. If you've categorized your companies into like building, repairs, carpentry, depending on which one you've picked, the next drop-down list will show you any companies related to that category. This is an example if you're outsourcing. If you have someone coming in to fix that computer, you can pick that company from the drop-down list and they can be essentially the person coming in to fix it. We're going to leave this in-house, so I will take away the company from this drop-down menu. And because it's in-house, I do want to assign one of my in-house technicians to repair this work order. So in the resource field, you can see a list of names. We're going to go ahead and pick Henry Hippo. There's our due date. Again, that's reflective of when we change our priority levels, urgent, medium, critical. Description is the last mandatory field. This is where you want to be descriptive about what type of work needs to be done. Let's say cannot power on computer. There's no sound, no display. Requested by, this field will auto-populate for anyone who is signing in with their own user ID. We'll leave that field just empty there. It is useful if you are sharing a user ID with someone else and it's important for them to know who exactly it came from. Company contacts. If you have a specific contact from a company, so Steve from A&R Heating and Cooling, I can reach out to him directly and make sure that he's the one who needs to come down and get this done. Email contacts, if there's anyone else within your company that maybe needs to be notified of this issue. We'll say mike@hippo.com. I can add him to that list, and I also want to send him an email, and he also wants to get status updates about this work order. Contact information, that's similar to requested by. Because I'm logging in, it's going to grab my name, and it's going to grab my email address if I put that in the user grid. So what you've seen here is just like on desktop, nothing has changed, nothing is different. Again, your mandatory fields are work order name, type, and description. We went over the optional fields in case you need to use them, but you can absolutely get through this form with 3 small steps. So we'll click Save. My work order has now been submitted. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We'll click on My Work Orders. It's at the very top of the list, 38004. If I click on the drop-down arrow, it's going to give me the location of this work order. Let's click the Edit button. And this is going to open up the generated work order. Now, earlier I forgot to, that I wanted to add a picture. So I'm just scrolling down the list here and I'm looking at the attachment section. If I click the Add button, I can either upload a picture or choose an existing one from my Hippo. We'll click Upload, take photo, and then you can take a picture of the item that needs maintenance. Okay, I can name it as well too. We'll call this broken computer. And then I'll click OK. Good. So that's document adding to a work order. We are also going to look at how to edit and close the work order. So again, this one is open and generated. So waiting someone to go in there and complete the work. So in terms of finishing the work order, if I'm the resource and I'm assigned to it, look where it says status. Like on desktop, if you're completing any work orders, based on your permissions, you can change the status to complete. Okay. Next, I'm going to go through the form and look for any other fields I want to add. I've added a picture already. I've got resource information. So if you are tracking labor hours, or if you do have the name of a resource on your work order, they need to press the green button, type in their hours. This took me 15 minutes to fix the work order. Okay. So I've got my time in there. Maybe I've added some parts to this work order. We'll click the add button. So I can choose to find parts based on work category, or I can use the parts list to just see everything in my facility. We'll say that I just use part A for this. Okay, where's my location? What's the part number? How much I have on hand? And then how many did you use for this work order? Quantity used is 1. Say okay. And as well, maybe I want to add an invoice. I'll click add. And then you just start adding your invoice information. 7265. Add in a PO number. What company did you get this invoice from? Okay, and then you start adding your items. Let's say they just charged $15 of labor. Okay. All right, great. So just going over this form again, we have our data that was entered originally when the work order was submitted. I've changed the status to complete. There's a description. I could add a comment as well. I've got an additional contact I'm sending this to. I've got a picture of the broken computer. My resource hours are all punched in. Parts used is there as well. And I also have invoice information that's needed. Now, when I click save, this is going to close the work order. And if I click on my work orders again, notice that my computer repair is no longer on this page. All right, now in terms of finding that work order, just like in desktop, when a work order is complete, it disappears from your dashboard. Your dashboard again is here or under my work orders. Your dashboard only shows you open generated work orders. Whenever you're finding a completed work order, you can utilize work order search. So we'll click the menu button in the top left corner, click on work order search. I'm going to deselect view own, and then I can make use of the drop down arrow to pull up additional filters to search for that work order. Okay. So I can look by facility, work order status. I can search by work category, when it was generated, when the due date was. So I know that I want to look for work orders that are completed. And I want to look for work order categories. We put this under IT. Okay. And next, I'm going to click the search icon. And hopefully my search results are good. We'll hide that menu. And there we are. Work order 38004, the one we just completed. So I can open this up. Now you can't edit a completed work order. I can view the details of this work order. If I do need to add something to it, then I'll make use of the associated work orders button, and that's going to open up another demand work order form. I mentioned earlier, at this time right now, the dashboard view is not consistent with the desktop. So if you are an admin user, you likely won't see all the work orders within your facility. An update is coming, but in the meantime, if you do need to search for everything that's going on, please use the work order search. uncheck view own. If you quickly click the magnifying glass, this is going to show all the work orders within your enterprise. Okay, well, that is our tutorial on Hippo Mobile, submitting work orders, editing work order, closing work orders, searching for work orders. We do have some questions already, so I will go ahead and answer those. Question period will be about 10 minutes. Feel free to use your GoToMeeting question panel, and I'll be happy to answer anything that comes up. One question that we have is, do you anticipate Hippo Mobile being offered in an app in the future? Absolutely. It is on our roadmap for development right now. We do eventually want to have an app that will be in like the App Store or the Google Android Store. Because we've really just released Hippo version 6, we want to focus on providing a quality product first before getting into bigger things. But absolutely in the future, we do anticipate having a mobile application. Next question is, we want to upgrade to Hippo version 6. We completed the survey several weeks back but have not been contacted. Is there anyone we can contact directly? Absolutely. My apologies that if we did not reach out to you after you completed the survey. Thank you for doing that. We will contact you after the webinar, but for anyone else who is interested, I'll pull up the address to our support team. It is support@hippocmms.com. Please contact us here, and for you specifically, I will contact you to figure out maybe what happened in terms of our correspondence. Okay, next question is, does it matter who owns the mobile device, company or technician? It does not matter who owns a mobile device. If it's a personal device or if it's a work device, everyone will access Hippo the same way. Again, it's the same URL as your desktop. Open up your browser on your mobile, type in your client id.hippocmms.com.ca. You can access it from home as long as you have the permission to. Okay, we'll keep the line open just for a few more minutes. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to type them into your GoToMeeting question panel. If anything comes up later, please email us at support@hippocms.com and I will gladly answer them for you as well. Okay, so it looks like most people have left the room. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar today. If you are interested in seeing another webinar in the future, please send your suggestions to support@hippocms.com. Other than that, a copy of this will be sent out later today. Thank you very much and have a wonderful afternoon.